At Cincinnati's Old Main, a reader submitted a request. A page carried it through a gate the public could not cross. Then he climbed through the iron galleries to find one book. The system worked beautifully, until success filled every shelf. So why did Cincinnati demolish a library that still worked? The answer was hidden inside its narrow Mainstreet site. Before opening, Windsor warned expansion would sacrifice light and air. The plan allowed room for roughly 250,000 volumes. More shelves would squeeze the daylight shafts that kept the stacks usable. The building's celebrated strength was also its trap. In 1868, the board bought a Mainstreet site between 6th and 7th. It included the nearly finished front of an unfinished opera house project, not a complete theater. Cincinnati finished that front. Readers entered in 1870, before the famous hall existed. For 3 years, they kept reading, while builders raised the iron hall directly behind them. Poole designed service around movement. Readers waited. Pages traveled. The building followed. A reader wrote a title on a request slip, folded it, and waited. The slip crossed a brass tray beneath the counter into a page's hand. He entered the closed stacks and crossed an iron balcony above the reading room. In an octagonal alcove, he found the shelf and reached into shadow. Book in hand, he descended toward the waiting reader. 5 stacked tiers kept an enormous collection close to the central floor. Daylight fell from the roof and traveled down through every gallery. Harper's praised the light and capacity. Poole predicted America's best arranged library. But Poole had printed Windsor's warning beside his own confidence. Cincinnati, Windsor wrote, would buy experience at the cost of trial. His concern was the site, 80 feet wide, 190 deep. Any expansion would steal light and ventilation from the stacks. Poole trusted the plan. Cincinnati kept adding books. 1 row became 2, then books stood 3 deep. The pressure climbed all 5 levels. Overflow spread into the basement and subcellar. Old Main and its annex held 1.25 million volumes. A broader count reached 1.5 million items across the system, a different measure. Either figure shattered the original premise. Every request still sent a page inside. Replacement photographs show workers holding books with twisted covers. Up close, warped boards and buckled paper reveal the cost. Much of the overflow had been forced underground. Basement floods damaged paper and deformed the books stored there. Coal soot blackened covers. Staff fought the grime endlessly. Summer heat settled in the galleries and stayed. Deep workrooms swallowed what little daylight remained. This was not proof of structural failure, but it made routine service punishing. 2 workers died in shaft falls, one in 1875, another in 1902. In 1926, Cincinnati secured a bond for a replacement. An escape finally looked possible. The money existed, the need was obvious. Officials could not agree where to build. Replacement needed 3 things together: money, a site, and a board with legal authority. Cincinnati accepted the problem, but not the place for its answer. The project stalled. Then, in 1929, Ohio's High Court struck down the special library law. Authority vanished. The bond died. Replacement slipped into the 1930s. The ruling said nothing about Old Main. Inside, the machine kept running. New books kept arriving. The building had nowhere to put them. Pages kept climbing through a system already beyond its promise. A route out reopened in 1946 when Carl Witz took charge. Construction began in 1952, this time around a different model of public service. New Main mixed open browsing with controlled shelving that still required staff retrieval. Simple questions went to an information desk, deeper searches to subject departments. Old Main moved a page for almost every request. New Main let readers move. Electric light and air conditioning answered the heat, darkness, and stale air. Then came the move. Staff measured the shelves in 30-inch sections, the exact length of each carton. Each section went into one box, turning a fixed shelf into a portable unit without losing order. Color-coded labels assigned every carton its destination. Packing took only 1 week. Old Main closed on January 25, 1955. The ordered cartons crossed downtown in sequence. 6 days later, limited service resumed. The collection had moved without losing its place. One final cart crossed the empty gallery. The iron remained. Its purpose had moved 2 blocks away. Old Main was demolished that spring. Historian John Fleischmann said it passed without a peep of protest. A cathedral vanished almost silently. The record contains no costed reuse plan and no structural study. Could it have survived? We do not know. Parking came later, not as the cause. Cincinnati replaced exhausted service. Demolition was the consequence. 3 stained glass windows escaped demolition by leaving the building at auction. They glowed over restaurant tables for years. When it closed in 1997, they began the journey home. By 2005, they were displayed at Main. One still appeared there in 2016. Today's 5-story atrium unintentionally echoes Old Main. The galleries vanished. One piece of their light came back.